What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Dude Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Jump. Today, guys, I'm dealing with a subject or topic that I received from our good brother Devin. And, Devin and Sister Jennifer, they always keep the good, hot shit coming on the channel, right? And so I want to give them a round of applause. Go ahead, hit it with that effect, Quasi. And you gave me this TikTok video of a lady that's saying that black men, in many words, because she's a black woman, so obviously we know who she's talking about. Black men want a 1950s style housewife without paying for it. Now, that's interesting because that's what I've been talking about on my channel or in that same genre of content. But what I'd like to do, if all possible, is I want to play her particular clip on TikTok, and then I want to go ahead and to respond to the clip.
Men literally created the idea of a breadwinner, and then they don't want to be breadwinners. You guys want a 1950s style relationship where you have a housewife that takes care of everything, irons your clothes, puts food on the table, takes care of the kids, blase, 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 but you don't want to be a 1950s style husband and get a job and pay for everything. It doesn't make sense. You guys are threatened and intimidated by women that go, okay, since you don't want to do it, I'm going to go do it. And she gets degrees and shit. Then you say she's too smart and out of your league. She is, by the way. She is me. But anyway, I digress. How the did you guys say that you're the head of the household? You still want to be called the head of the household. You guys won't let that shit go. You want to be the head of the household, but you won't do head of the household things. Like pay for shit. I don't want no gold digger. You don't have any gold to dig and mine from, my love. I promise you don't. I promise. In times of change, we could probably do it 50-50. But if your first statement to me is I don't want no gold digger, that just means that you're lame, you're broke, and you don't have any money or assets.
So you heard what she had to say. It was very brutal, very frank, and I want to just say this: there are some men in every community that tend to be a little delusional. We have them here in the manosphere. There are guys who believe that women should submit to them for the sole purpose because they are a man. Now, I do believe in what Mr. Dennis Sperling said, Attorney Sperling, that you should respect a man because he's a man, right? I understand that. And the same thing as a woman, right? If I see a woman outside being harassed, something like that, or needing help, my instinct is to help her because she is a woman, and I have enough respect for her as a woman. But in society, we get confused that because a man is a man, he gets respect, that a woman should submit to you because you are a man. There are actionable items that must be achieved, in my opinion, for any woman to submit to any man. Okay? And I think there are a few brothers out there that believe that because he's a man, a woman should submit to you. No. And I believe that she's addressing some of the guys who feel like that. But in the reality of it, is that the guys want 1950 styles housewives without paying for it. Well, again, I think that's not really true. It's a talking point that I've already discussed here. Number one, none of us grew up in the 50s. Usually none of us. Many of us who did grow up in the 50s, there were single parents then. Now, obviously, there were women that were more or less likely to be housewives. But the guys in this generation, how can you want something that you have not really seen or experienced? For example, I can want an Instagram model. I can want a Cadillac Escalade. I can want a Tesla. I mean, that's something that I can actually experience. But how can I want what does that consist of? A lot of guys are modern men. We are going to expect our women to want the same sorts of things they've been trained to do that. So for men to really realistically look at and say, we want our women to stay home and just have children, we know that a lot of women are not okay with that. I think this argument doesn't apply to majority of men. Maybe there are less than 5% of guys who think like that. But number one, I think that most guys in reality don't want to come home and see their women every day. It can get annoying, and all day. And women and men need their space too, even in relationships. So I don't think that she's talking to a whole bunch of guys. She's talking to some guys. Okay. Now I do want to say there is some brothers out there who are very cheap, and I'm gonna tie this back to Obsidian Media Network. Is that beauty costs? A lot of guys, if you expect that you're gonna get a beautiful woman, it's not free. I don't care how much money you have. Look at the guys who are players. Your Derek Jacksons of the world. Women who he feels women feel he's very attractive. There's evidence that Derek Jackson was paying for stuff. Derek Jackson was flying chicks out. Derek Jackson was giving chicks money. Okay. So if he understands that, even though he was cheating on his wife, then obviously. Then you would have to understand it also. If you have a woman, beauty costs, upkeeping a woman costs. That's something that men do, right? In relationships with women. There are a lot of guys that want to call the shots, but then it's 50-50. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but it is less likely that a woman is going to want to call the shots in a 50-50. And then you have some guys who don't have any money to the table and think they can just bring their penis to the table, and then that's good enough. I'm a man, I got some good D, I need to be calling all the shots. That's ridiculous. So I think that she has a point there. But then here's the reality. Men are threatened by educated women. I mean, I think this is also something that's kind of being made up, because the guys that really are proud of educated women are a lot of black men. See, a lot of fights are happening in the black America that don't need to be fought. A lot of these fights are big rumors. Like a lot of times where I feel like sisters, black women hate black men. That's not a fight that we need to be talking about. That's not true, right? Black women don't hate black men. Or black women are against black men. That's also another argument that we don't need to be talking about, because that's not true, in my opinion. Okay? Now, entitlement issues on either side, that's something to get in the ring about. But for you to tell me that a lot of black men are intimidated by the success of black women, I just don't think that's the truth. Because yes, black women are more organized, but a lot of men are doing very well in their own rights. They might not have the college degrees that you have, and we already know that college degrees don't equate to money. We know that. We know that there are a ton of truck drivers, a ton of plumbers, a ton of HVAC technicians, a ton of carpenters, a ton of guys who are in tech spaces that are making that will run circles around most ladies' salaries, and they're working for moderate level or lower levels entry positions, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year with master's degrees. That don't mean you're out earning this guy who's working maybe like 14, 15 hours a day, 6 days a week. In certain guys in certain spaces, men work more and harder than women do, which means that they can earn more. They're more willing to do the work. Even me as a YouTuber, okay? I'm on YouTube. Plenty of women on YouTube. Many of them cannot outwork me. Many of them cannot outproduce me, okay? I have something in my mind as a man that will make me go harder than most women do, because I'm a man, right? So it's very hard for me to say that I'm intimidated by you, when a lot of black men grew up with understanding that women need to do better in society and have things. Men are not upset about women having better things than them or more education. Men are tired of women trying to throw this shit on you in your face to make you less of a man. Okay? And as far as not paying for something, are you the woman that's worth me paying something for? See, this is the thing, and you can listen to how she's talking, and don't get me wrong, she's telling the truth, and I'm not going to use the ad hominem against her. But are you the woman, in general, that a man is worth doing something for? The reason why the guy doesn't want to pay anything for you is because you're just simply not worth him paying something for. But another sister is worth paying something for. You're just the woman that if he's going to be with you, it could be limitations because of your attitude, because of the way you do things, or vice versa. But if you're the right woman with the right disposition, he will come off that money, because a man provides for what he loves. A man will take care of what he loves, okay? And women, when they say they love somebody, that doesn't mean there's care behind it. If a man really loves you, there is action and care behind it. That man is going to provide for you and take care of you. You're not going to be talking about 50-50. You're not going to be talking about no 60-40. If a man can do it, he's going to give you as much as he can to make sure that you have it. Many women out there have failed to realize that they are not the woman that they want to be, slightly because their attitude has put them out of position to be provided for. That's the problem. And a lot of women are attractive that have this disposition, but it keeps you out of the loop for being the right woman for a man to provide for you. Do you know how to talk to a man? Do you know how to be a comfort to a man? Are you good at the little skills? Why would I provide for you when I cannot? So then you want to call somebody cheap. No, I'm just not going to buy something that I don't want to spend money on. But if you're the person that I like, you're the person that I love, I will spend money on it because I love that person or I love that woman. You understand? But see, women, they're telling us side of the story. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Jump. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. Check out the first comment pinned at the top. Check out the Black Men Are Perfect t-shirts. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I am out.